talking chainsaws. Okay. I bought this here because I couldn't afford a Milwaukee. I couldn't really even afford this one here, but I charged it, so I have to pay for it each month. It's a 14-inch RYOBI, and it's a 40 volt. I didn't get the smaller one. I got the one. This is the same battery as the weed whacker, and I just noticed that that's where my wrench is right there. Okay, is it worth the money? Well, you see this piece of wood right here? That's a piece of oak. Now that piece of oak was probably about 12 foot long, and that's bone dry. Not many people would go out in the woods and see that piece of wood as a burnable piece of cordwood. But I have been a native Vermonter all my life. This is a little bit of the rough end of it, but that piece was about 12 foot long, and this saw cut right through it like nothing. Now, I have cut other pieces here. I don't know if I can show them to you. Now, if you're just a homeowner and you need something to, or your wife wants something, you just go out there, and there's another piece I cut. That one there is pretty well gone by. It's not a very good example, but it'll cut anything like this here. All of this stuff it'll cut really easy. If I had somebody to hold the phone for me, I would show you. But RYOBI tools, I mean, if you got the money to go buy a Milwaukee, go ahead, buy it. And while we're on the subject of RYOBI, I didn't have the money to go buy a impact for a Milwaukee. Now, I don't know if this is the right size, but I'll take it outside, I'll show you. This is my Dodge. It's a 1-ton. And I don't know if this is the right size. Oh, look at that. Now this is in number 1. Right here. This is only in 1. See it down there? I can put it up to 3. No problem. It'll put them on, take them off. It'll tighten them up even more. Oh, boy, geez. Didn't know where that was. Yeah, so there you have it. Do you need a Milwaukee? Do you need a really expensive impact driver? Well, this is the bigger one of the RYOBIs. This is the where the hell is it? I got the big battery with it too, you know. I mean, I figured it needs a battery. It's gonna need a big battery, so I got the big one, the 4 amp hours. But this is the I don't know if you can read that or not, but they make 2 half-inch ones, and this one here is the bigger half-inch impact, and that's the one that I got. I thought it was marked on here somewhere, but apparently it's not. But it's the bigger one of the 2, and I didn't know if it would take my lug nuts off my 1-ton. I bought it from a camper, which is only you know, there's just 3/4 inch lug nuts. Nothing big. It whips those off like nothing. But I usually keep this thing down on 1 because you just don't need it any higher than that. And this thing will rip anything right off. I mean, I've snapped 3/4 inch bolts with this thing. Works pretty damn good. I'm real happy with it. And getting back to the saw, well, I went out and I loaded up up, I got a trailer that I pull behind my tractor. So it's just a small one. It's a trailer I pull behind my four-wheeler. And I can go out and I can load that trailer up 2 times with this thing here and cut anything up to 6-inch, 8-inch, and come back here with a heaping load in my little trailer. So, I mean, I know you're probably thinking, why use a cordless saw? Well, it's just handy. It's just really easy. It's real handy. No pulling, no yanking. And it works really well. So there's my take on RYOBI, okay? Love it or leave it. You know, if you ain't got the money, this will do the job. You just got to take your time. I mean, I've been cutting cordwood all my life, and I've done a lot of logging and stuff like that, and I've got quite a bit of acres here. So, if it works for me, it'll work for the average guy who just wants to knock down a few little brush or pecker poles or whatever, and you don't want to spend the money on a Milwaukee because it's only going to get used once or twice. Well, I've used this thing here more than a half a dozen times now since I've had it. And this is the battery off of my weed whacker. And we have the larger weed whacker, 40 volt weed whacker, 4-hour, get the 4-hour amp battery, the big battery. See, I don't know if they make a bigger one, but if they make a bigger one, get a bigger one. But that weed whacker, man, I tell you what, my old lady's out here all day long with the weed whacker, whacking like crazy, man. And she's happy as hell. So RYOBI, does it work? Well, that's just my take on it. So, like I say, like, subscribe, throw a thumbs up at me, will you? And leave a comment if you want. And keep picking.